why are there so many people here? A lot of rats, really old subways, distinct New York scent.
Alas, here I am.
Hey guys, I know that I've been using my channel mainly for the purpose of food and vlogs and things like that, but I thought because I am a college student, it would just be appropriate to share some of my experiences so far at NYU. So I reached out to a few of my friends and their friends who are incoming freshmen, class of 2024. Let's get started. A little bit about me. I am a rising sophomore in Steinhardt, majoring in Nutrition and Dietetics. A lot of people outside Steinhardt would be like, oh yeah, it's the weird school that has the majors that don't fit into any of the other schools. I mean, that's not true. I would like to say that our school is super diverse. You have people who are in the music business. You have the more health field related majors, and also you have the media majors, such as the very well-known MCC, Media Culture and Communications. And I am super proud to be a part of Steinhardt. It's actually a funny story because never in my life did I think that I would choose NYU as the college to go to. I remember from a very young age, I was just against the thought of going to NYU. I honestly don't know why. Ultimately, it was a decision between Boston College or NYU. For BC, they don't offer nutrition as a major. I actually applied to the Carroll School of Management. So if I committed to BC, I would be doing things related to business or accounting. I was ready to commit, but then what ultimately made me decide to commit to NYU was actually realizing that I had a lot of misunderstanding about the school. Just looking at the NYU stats, you know that it is a relatively larger school. That was a big turnoff for me. I don't want to be in a school with so many students, plus it doesn't have a campus. But then I went to the Steinhardt event. They actually divided all of the students into their majors. We met the advisor, we met our undergrad department head, and just basically talked about the program, talked about the overall student experience. After realizing a lot of our major required classes are capped around like 30 to 40 students per class, I realized that my school size problem really wasn't an issue. Ultimately, it really came down to the battle between what major I would do. I feel like I will regret not giving nutrition a try. I think it's worth it to go to a school for the major. My first year experience was definitely a lot better than I had expected, but also just saying my expectations were quite low. Intro to Food Science was a really fun and enjoyable class for me. It was a great start to my college experience. You have a lecture, but it's only once a week. In addition to that, you have a lab section and you cook. You have a theme every week, for example, grains, poultry, seafood, pastries. If you enjoy cooking, you enjoy a little bit of science, it is a pretty easy course. And then after you cook them, you get to eat them. Because it was such a great experience, I definitely had withdrawal issues from time to time during the second semester. I would be like, if only I had my food science class. A lot of people I know are very motivated, they're very independent, and I would say that we're a pretty big work hard, play hard school. But of course, how hard certain courses are or how hard academics are specifically to you definitely depends on what major you're in. And it's not to say that, oh, this major is more difficult than the other. It's about how you like the major, because once you're interested in something, you're just more prone to want to learn about it. For me, I definitely found the perfect fit. It really is more of a fun process than a stressful process for me. That was definitely one of the biggest questions I had coming in. It's always hard to meet new people in a new environment. There is no definition of campus here at NYU. If you had to say there was a campus, then I would say New York City is your campus, which is pretty cool, to be honest. I participated in Project Outreach before freshman orientation last year, and that is basically a week-long service program. I got to meet two of my very best friends. It was just also really nice to know a good amount of people even before freshman orientation week started. I'm actually super grateful that the Steinhardt's new student seminar is grouped around your major, so you really get to meet the people in your year, in your major really, really well. A lot of the courses or like events that you'll be going to as a freshman might be freshman oriented. Just remember that it's a new environment for everyone there. Yes, it might be strangers all around you, but for the other person next to you, they might be seeing all strangers as well. So as much as you're intimidated by the situation, remember that there are so many other people out there who are just as intimidated by you. So it really makes the difference when you can reach out, introduce yourself first, and it really gets a lot more easier from there. Definitely, while you're putting yourself out there, do be yourself. You want to feel comfortable in a friendship, and you want your friends to like you and accept you for who you are instead of who you want to be or who you think they will accept. There are so many clubs at NYU. There are a lot of student organizations, and you will definitely find something that fits your interest. I think a really important thing to note if you are really interested in a certain club is to definitely apply to the e-board. Honest opinion, I would say the community within the club lies within the e-board. If you're a freshman, your dorm will also host a lot of different events. What else? A few tips and tricks on how to get the most out of your lectures and classes, and what are the easier ways to study for tests and quizzes. I feel like this will be especially helpful if you are a science major. A really, really important thing that a lot of people don't actually realize is to study before your class. Yes, professors are there to teach, and you will learn so much from them if you study the materials beforehand. Class time is pretty short and there is a lot of material to cover. So I will have my own set of notes, and while I'm in class, I'll be highlighting those notes for when the professor is emphasizing on certain things, or if the professor is actually adding to the PowerPoint. But of course, some people don't learn the way I do. Do what works for you. A lot of the coursework are pretty rigorous, but it's just so important to have something that you enjoy doing, to have your own interest aside from academics. I love going out with my friends. I love staying home and cook and bake for myself. I definitely do a lot of stress baking. For me, having like a clear distinction of like workspace versus personal rest and fun space is really important. About advisors, they might not have all of the answers regarding specifics about a certain class beyond what the course description is. I mean, you wouldn't know what a class is about unless you actually took the class. But of course, they are a wonderful resource and guide to make sure that you're on track for your academic goals, your major, your minor, and there to support you if you have very specific course-related questions. I think it's super helpful to ask upperclassmen, people who have actually taken the course. They definitely know about the course a lot better than your academic advisors will. Yes, I am an international student. I'm originally from China, specifically Beijing, and NYU itself also has a pretty big international student population. I really didn't have a problem adjusting to college life as an international student, but I feel like it also has to do with me going to high school here in the States. So that was kind of my transition period into the American education system. There are a lot of resources for international students, international student clubs, the Office of Global Service. They are there specifically to address questions international students might have, whether it has to do with documents, taxes, finding jobs and internships. Definitely don't be afraid to reach out to them if you have any questions. Honestly, no question is stupid. As international students, we are definitely dealing with a lot more school policies, federal policies, and things like that. Definitely ask if you are confused, because I've been in the States for 5 years now and I still don't have everything figured out. Just a little reminder, guard your passport and your I-20 with your life, because they are the documents that you need to be able to study here. And I personally think it's just such a hassle if you were to, say, lose either one of them. And yeah, just overall, I think it really is a great environment for international students to adjust. You will find your community. Don't worry about it. Because the semester is pretty special, I do realize that most of the events and classes will be probably on Zoom and not in person. This will definitely be a completely new way to meet people, especially for incoming students. I honestly don't think that that would put you at a disadvantage. I know that the school will try their best to hold as many virtual events as possible to engage incoming students, whether you're an undergrad, a grad student, or if you're a transfer student. Because most of my classes are going to be online, I am not going back to campus. I do realize that I'm not as motivated and I don't work as fast when I am home. The most efficient way is to have a plan and to also give yourself breaks. Go out for a walk, go out for a run. I feel like something really important is to check your emails. There's a lot of timely information with everything being virtual. It's your main way of communication. I feel that once my emails start piling up, I have less of a tendency to actually go through them. So I would try my best to check my emails at least 3 times every day. And I feel like that's a good habit to go into. But of course, I do understand it might be overwhelming sometimes. My department has this general big email list. I personally love it, even though a lot of things don't apply to me. Most of the job and internship stuff are geared towards grad students, but still, it's always great to look at what there is to offer, what networking opportunities and connections that you might have in a few years later. I know a lot of people suggest the Wasserman Center. They hold a lot of workshops, whether it's to teach you how to write a cover letter or how to improve your resume, prepare you for interviews. Definitely take that into consideration when you start looking for internships and jobs. Hopefully we can all be back on campus for the spring. I have my fingers crossed, because I do miss my friends, I do miss my professors, and I just can't wait to see everyone in person. I definitely didn't cover everything. Please feel free to reach out to me via social media or comment down below this video if you have any further questions or anything else you would like to see in future videos. I think I will probably make another video geared more towards my nutrition and dietetics major. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. If you are an incoming student, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you have a wonderful first semester. Hopefully this is the community you want. Hopefully you'll find your people here. Have fun, enjoy your time, and also stay safe. Bye.